Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This video is going to be about CA Final, Self-Paced Online Modules, Set A, Corporate and Economic Laws. That too, in Company Law, we are going to see chapter number 4, Inspection, Inquiry and Investigation. So this chapter we are going to see in this entire video. This is the main idea for this video, and we are going to use the flow charts also. In various sections, we will be seeing the section from the flow chart, and some section will be seeing from the IC study material itself. So this is the pattern for this video, and the charts I am using here along with the study material highlighted notes will be available in our website. The link for the website I will be giving in the description and in the pinned comment. And now I will be showing you how to get the notes from the website. You can get it for free by doing a login that I will show you now. And do watch this video till the end. If you find this useful, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like this video, share this to your friends so that they can also get benefited. And if they are preparing for CTA and IBS, it will be very helpful for them. So do share this video to your friends. All the best, and now we can start the chapter. Before that, I will tell you how to do the website. Now here in the browser you can type Mission CA Virtuals, and then you can see the first page which is opened, and here you can click on it. Now here if you see, you will see this tab, CA Final SPOM free resources. When you go into that, you will be able to find all the SPOM resources. Set A, Set B, Set C, Set D, everything will be there. Instead of scrolling through Telegram channel, word messages and all, you can just come here and then find these resources. Just you have to log in into the website, then you can access the resources for free. So all the YouTube channel links, YouTube videos links, and then the resources PDF, everything will be uploaded here. Inside the Set A folder, it will be available. So you can easily come into this website, log in with your mobile number, and then view the PDF resources. So now we can start the chapter. Now we can start the chapter Inspection, Inquiry and Investigation, which is chapter number 4. So first we can see what are all the things that are there in this chapter. So here when you see, we are having the heading, that is Inspection, Inquiry and Investigation. So we can see what is the meaning of these three terms. Inspection means one person will be appointed. That person will be called as the inspector. That person will come to your company registered office and he will do the inspection of the books or papers or documents that you are maintaining. All the records that you are maintaining, they will do the inspection. They will check whether any irregularity is there or not. Whatever you reported to the registrar or you shown in the records, the same thing is maintained by you in the registered office. That they will do the inspection. They will ask whatever the documents they want. They have to do the inspection. That you have to provide it to them. Then the next thing is inquiry. Inquiry means calling for information. They may ask you to furnish some information or give some explanation or provide the documents. That also can be done. That is called as the inquiry. They will ask you questions. For that you have to give the proper answer. Then investigation. This is the most important thing and it is a serious thing. When they get what we can say an evidence, a prima facie evidence, they are getting a preliminary evidence that something is going on wrong with the company or they are getting some information, then they will conduct an investigation. The government, the tribunal, the registrar or some other person, whoever, if they want, they can conduct the investigation. The powers will be given under various sections in this particular chapter of inquiry, investigation and then inspection. So investigation also can be done. When they are having primary evidence that something is going on wrong, then they will do the investigation. They will appoint an investigating officer, and the investigating officer can do various things in the company. They can get the directors and examine them. They can get the statement from them. They can demand them to produce the documents. They will do the investigation with them. They have to compulsorily provide the information. So that is called as an investigation. It is a serious thing. Now these are all the basic meaning of these three terms. Now we can see the sections here we are having. So we are having various sections here. The investigation types itself, we are having various types. So when you see section number 206, there we will have the inquiry and then the inspection. Inquiry and inspection by ROC, and then inspection by the central government. That will be there in section number 206. So that is the content of section 206. Then we are having one more type of investigation. This is inquiry inspection. Now the first investigation we are going to see, it is under section 210. Here investigation will be conducted by central government. Central government will conduct the investigation. Why they will conduct the investigation? So there may be various reasons. Like here itself we can see either some fraud might be happening or they are carrying on the business for unlawful purpose, or they are getting a information from central government or state government department that something is going on wrong with the company, or when a case is going on to the tribunal may order the central government to do the investigation. Like this, various purpose we are having, and for this purpose the investigation will be conducted. So that is section 210. After that, when you see, we are having the investigation by the Serious Fraud Investigation Office. This is an office which will be established by the central government, and in that they will assign the what we can say offences. The central government will assign the projects to the SFIO. They will conduct the investigation for the particular company. So that is one more important thing. They are also having wide powers. They can arrest the people, they can seize the documents, they can examine the people. Everything is there with the SFIO also. It is a specialized agency like ED, income tax. This is a specialized office, specialized agency. Then they are having another thing, section number 213, where the investigation will be conducted by the tribunal. After that, section 216 we are having where investigation into the ownership of the company. Who is the real owner of the company? If there is a loss to this company, who is the owner that will be going to be affected? Then if there is a profit for this company, who is the owner? Who is the beneficial owner? Everything will be seen so that we can see the true intention and then the true background picture of the company. Then section 217, one more important section. We are not having any investigation here, but the powers of the inspector, powers, rights, everything of the inspector. When an inspector is being appointed to do the investigation or inspection, what are all the powers they are having? Then section 218, one more important section which is for the protection of employees. When an investigation is going on and some employee is going to give some information to the government, like we are having the duty. When an investigation, inspection, inquiry is going on, the duty of all the officers of the company is to give the information to the investigating agency. That is the duty of the officers under the Companies Act. And if the officers or employees they give the information, then the directors or the top management they will try to bring some what we can say disadvantage to the employee. They will try to punish the employee. They will give what we can say demotion, or they will reduce the rank of the employee, or they will reduce the salary of the employee. Like that, they will torture the employee so that the employees will not give information to the investigating agency. So for this, it should not happen. For that, we are having section 218, protection of employees. When an investigation is going on, without getting the permission of the tribunal, you cannot take any action on any employee. So this is to protect the whistleblowers. Only then the employees will be without fear and they will give the information to the investigating agency. So this is the basic overview of this chapter. We are having the inquiry, inspection, investigation. Under these sections, importantly, we are having. Other than this also, we are having many sections. But these are all the most important section in this chapter. Now, first we can see here, in this chapter we are having various sections, and for some sections I am having the charts. From the flow charts, we'll be seeing some sections, and remaining sections we'll be seeing from the study material itself. So when you see the section 206, for that we are having the chart, so we can see that from the chart. Now here when you see section 206, which is call for information, inspection of books and conducting the inquiries. So information can be called, inspection can be done for the books and papers, inquiry can be conducted. When you see what will happen here, the registrar of companies, ROC, he will send a written notice to the company. Why he is sending a notice? The ROC, based on the information filed by the company, the annual return, half yearly return, and then the event based return, everything will be filed by the company, right? Based on that information from the company, or any other information received by it. From somewhere, some people will give the information relating to some wrong things happening in the companies, or some suspicious activities in the companies, or irregularities in the companies, from the banker, from the other wealth manager, like that. Some people may give the information to ROC. Based on that information, ROC thinks that it is necessary to call for the information. They want to get some explanation or the supporting documents for some transaction or something like that. Then ROC will send a written notice to the company that we need the following information. You have to send the following documents, information, explanation, like that. ROC will send a written notice. After that, what will happen? When the notice is received, the company officers and past officers, current officers also covered, past officers also covered, all of their duty is to furnish the information properly. Whatever they know, they have to tell it honestly. They should not conceal anything. They should not hide anything. So that is the duty. Then ROC, what they will do? They are having three chances. First chance, no information has been furnished by the company. The company did not give any reply to the written notice. Then that is one option. Second option, information not adequate. They gave the information, but it is not enough. We asked for 10 documents, they sent only 5 documents. Like that, information is not adequate. Then third probability, what is there? Unsatisfactory state of affairs, and documents does not disclose the full and fair information. The state of affairs, the events that are happening in the company, the contracts they are entering into, the returns they are filing, it is not proper, unsatisfactory, it is not up to the mark. And whatever the documents they are giving also, in that also we are not having full and fair information. It is giving only part information. So in that case, in these three cases, The ROC, what he will do? He will record the reasons in writing. What is the reason that he will record in writing? And he will send another written notice for further information. They will send a follow-up notice for further information. This is nothing but a follow-up notice because the information was not adequate and it was not proper. Then that also they give. After that, ROC is satisfied that an inquiry is needed. ROC thinks that only if we do an inquiry, then only it will be okay. Like that they are thinking. How they are thinking that based on the information furnished or available, based on the information they are having, or representation from a person. Some person is giving some statement. What statement they are giving? The business is being conducted for fraudulent purpose or unlawful purpose. They are conducting the business but to defraud the creditors or to defraud the members. They are doing some fraudulent activity. The business they are doing for unlawful purpose and they are not following the act properly. They are not following the Companies Act properly. So like that some statement is given from one or more persons to the ROC. That is one more chance. Third chance, investor grievance are not addressed. The investors, the people who are buying the shares of the company or buying the debentures of the company, who are investing money into the company, they are called as the investors. And if there is any problem for them, that also the company is not solving properly. They are not addressing the problem. Then also the ROC will be satisfied that an inquiry will be needed. Then they will do the inquiry. Then, before starting the inquiry, the ROC should inform the company about the allegations. What are all the allegations? What are all the what we can say accusations that are kept against the company? That should be informed to the company prior in a prior manner. Only then they can give the proper information in the inquiry. What are all the allegations? For that they can prepare the documents, everything. So this is inquiry by ROC. Then after the inquiry, if they found that the business is carried on for fraudulent or unlawful purpose only, the representation is correct only, actually fraud is happening, then all the persons responsible for that will be punishable for fraud under section 447. If you are doing fraud for that, this is the particular section in the Companies Act which is mentioning the punishment. Then central government also, if it wants, it can direct the ROC or inspector to conduct an inquiry. Central government will give order to the ROC or inspector to conduct an inquiry. Then central government can do the inspection also. Central government, if it thinks that inspection should be conducted, then they will appoint an inspector, and the inspector will conduct an inspection of the books and documents. They will come and view and examine the books and documents of the company. Then they can also authorize any statutory authority to conduct such inspection. They can also authorize, they can give the permission to a statutory authority, a government authority to conduct the inspection. Like RBI can conduct the inspection for banks. So that is the inquiry inspection that call for information, inspect books and conduct inquiries. Section number 206. ROC can do, and then inquiry can be conducted by ROC or inspector also, then inspection by the central government. That's all about section number 206. Now, the next section is section number 207. We have to see how they will actually conduct the inspection or inquiry, what they will actually do. That we are going to see in section 207. For that also we are having the chart. We can move into the chart. Now here when you see section number 207, conduct of inspection and inquiry, how they will conduct it when it is done, when the inspection or inquiry is happening, the company personnel, the employees, all the people that are there in the company, directors, officers, employees, they should produce the documents, they should furnish the explanation, they should provide all the necessary assistance to the investigating officer, to the inspector. They have to give all the assistance. Then ROC or inspector, they will conduct the inspection inquiry. What they will do? They can make copies of the books or documents. They will make a copy and they will retain it. They will take that to their office. They can place the identification marks. They can place some kind of sticky note or identification mark. They can place it on the books and documents. Then they are also having the powers of a civil court. What is the powers of a civil court? Discovery and production of documents. Civil court, when a case is happening, the civil court can demand discovery and production of documents. The civil court will give an order to produce this document on this particular date. Like that, the ROC or inspector, they also can demand a document. We have to show this document, then they have to mandatorily show the document. Summoning and enforcing attendance. If some officer or director is not there, then they can summon them. They can enforce their attendance. They can compel the director or officer to mandatorily meet them personally and give them the evidence that they want. Then examining persons on oath. That means that they will get a promise, right? Whatever you are telling, that will be truth only, like that. When you are giving a witness in a court, they will ask you this promise first. Whatever you are telling, that should be the truth only. Like that, they will give you the promise. They will take the promise from you. That promise you will give. After that, you will give the evidence. That is the procedure of a court. You will tell the witness. Whatever you saw, that you will tell in the court. In the same manner, ROC or inspector also, they can get the promise from you. After that, they can get the evidence. Whatever you know, they can get it from you. Then inspecting the books of company at any place, wherever in the warehouse, in the godown, in the registered office, or some other branch office, wherever you are maintaining the books of accounts of the company, there the ROC or inspector, they can visit there and they can do the inspection. You have to mandatorily show them the papers. Then if you are not following this section, like you are not obeying the ROC or inspector, they asked you the documents but you are not producing it, they asked you to appear personally for the enquiry but you did not come, like that you are disobeying the ROC or inspector and failure to perform the duties. They asked you the assistance but you did not give that. In that case and all, this is called as contravention. You are not following the section, you are violating the section. Then what will happen? Officers, employees, for them imprisonment up to 1 year. You can be put to jail for a period maximum 1 year. Then fees, fine. They will levy a fine, minimum 25,000 rupees, maximum 1 lakh rupees. So this is the fine that can be levied for contravention. Then whatever the director or officer who got convicted under this section, who violated this section and who got convicted, that officer will be deemed to have vacated the office. A vacation of office will be happening for that particular director in all the companies. Then he will be disqualified to hold the office in any company. He will be disqualified. He cannot hold the office in any company. So this is a permanent disqualification. Now, this is the penalty for contravention and section 207 is over. The next section is section number 208. Here, whatever the inspection you did, you examined all the books and documents, you verified it, you tried to reconcile it, everything you did the inspection. After that, you have to give the outcome. Outcome is in the form of a report. Like for audit, we will do an audit report. In the same manner, for this inspection, we have to create an inspection report. It will be created by the inspector or the ROC. It will be submitted to the central government. And after reading the report, the central government will decide whether any further action is needed or we can drop the matter. It is not a serious thing. So you will the inspector or ROC will submit the report to the central government. They will give the recommendation also whether we have to carry out the investigation further, whether we have to do the additional investigation. That and all will be given as a recommendation by the ROC or inspector to the government. After that, the government will read the report. They will take the action. If nothing is serious, they will drop the case. They will close the file. Otherwise, if it is a serious problem, they will take further action. The report you have to submit it to the regional director. Then if the punishment is less than 2 years for the offense or the violation that you found out, the maximum punishment that is less than 2 years imprisonment, then the regional director who got the report, they can sanction the launching of prosecution by themselves. What is the meaning of prosecution? Prosecution means filing a case. Prosecution means nothing but filing a case. But along that you are having a motive. What motive you are having? To get punishment for the guilty. You are filing a case, you are starting the judicial proceedings with a motive to get the punishment for the accused. So that is the meaning of prosecution. If the punishment is up to 2 years, then the regional director can launch the prosecution, can sanction the launch of prosecution, can sanction. This means that they can give the permission. They will not directly do that, but they will give you the permission. The investigating officer, they have to do the prosecution, they have to handle those formalities, they will get the permission. Then, if it is more than 2 years, in other cases, like you can write it like other cases. In other cases, what will happen? RD will forward the report to the central government. So, after completing ROC or inspector, they will send the report to regional director. Regional director, whether he may launch the prosecution, start the prosecution, like he will give the sanction of the prosecution by himself, or they can give it to the central government also. After that, the report will be forwarded to the central government. Central government will decide what to do. So that is section number 208. The next section when you see it is section number 209. For this also we are having the chart, so we can move to the chart. Now here when you see section number 209, search and seizure. What is the meaning of search and seizure? Search means when you are keeping the documents in some place and you are not allowing the what we can say investigating officer or the inspector to view it, then they will enter the place and then they will search the place for the documents. And seizure means if they have the doubt that whether after the inspector goes away, you will try to destroy the books, you will try to eliminate the evidence, then what they will do? They will take the books and papers, everything into their custody. They will take it away and they will keep it in their office under their custody. That is the meaning of seizure. So when they can do that, ROC or inspector has the doubt, they have the reasonable ground to believe, they are having proper what we can say a doubt. You are a person who is able to do that. Then the books and papers, what you will do? You will destroy it, alter it, mutilate it, falsify it, secret it. Like alter it means you will change the evidence. Whatever it is against you, you will change it, modify it, and you will regularize it. So that is a altering of evidence. Then that should not happen. Only then they can get the original evidence and get the punishment for the accused. So they will take the seizure the books and papers belonging to the company, KMP, director, auditor, or company secretary. For these books and papers, they can take this action. First, they have to get the special court order. They cannot go directly, they have to get the special court order. After that, they can go and search the place, seize the books. Before seizing the books, they will give the company an opportunity to take copy of the books and papers for their purpose. If they want to do the work, suddenly if you go and take away all the books, the company will not be able to function properly. So they will allow the company to take the copies of the books and papers before it is seized by the ROC or inspector. Then custody and return of the documents. For how much period the investigating authority they can have the books, and after what period they have to return it. Books must be returned not later than 180 days after seizure. 180 days is the maximum time limit for that, for which they can keep the books under their custody. After 180 days they have to return it. Or was their inspector, if they want again after 180 days they want the books again for examination, then they can call that again for a maximum 180 days again. They have to give an order in writing. First they can take it for 180 days. Second time, again they can take it for 180 days. But here, order in writing should be there. Then, when they are taking the books under their custody, they can take the copies, they can place identification marks on the papers, everything they can do. Provisions of CRPC apply to search and seizure under this section. Under the Criminal Procedure Code, CRPC is nothing but the... Wait a minute. Code for criminal procedure. Under this code, whatever the procedure that is given for search and seizure, that will be applicable, like that they are saying. So that's all about section number 209. Now, till section number 209 we have completed, and now we are entering into the investigation part, section number 210, where central government will do the investigation of the company. For this also we are having the chart, so we can see from the chart. Now, this is the chart for section number 210, where investigation will be conducted by the central government. When they will conduct? So, they are having two options. One option is central government may order. What is the meaning of may order? They may or they may not. Central government has an option. Option is there with the central government. Then CG shall order. Here there is a compulsion. Mandatorily the central government should order the investigation if this happens. So, where the central government has the option, ROC or inspector, they will conduct the inquiry under section 206 and 207 will be the procedure, and then they will submit the report in 208. So this is the three pair of section. 206 gives the power, 207 gives the procedure, 208 gives the report. And this report, I told you, it will go to the central government. Based on this report, if the central government wants to do an investigation, they can do it. That is the first part. Second one, when you see, on its own public interest, suo motu. This means that the central government, they have the information that something is going on wrong with the company. Then, on their own, without having any intimation from anyone, without having any inducement from anyone, they can launch the investigation on their own. Then, special resolution passed by the shareholder. The shareholder, they think that something is wrong going on with the company. Some business which they did not authorize, which is not there in the MOA, AOA, but that business is being run in the name of the company. Then, if they are having some doubt like that, some kind of a fraud thing is happening in the company, then they will pass a special resolution, and based on that special resolution, the central government can start the investigation. What special resolution they will pass? They will pass a special resolution that there is something going on wrong with the company. We have to conduct the investigation. They are requesting the central government to do the investigation. Such a special resolution will be received by the central government. After that, they will launch the investigation. So here, the central government has the option. The report will be read by the central government, and if they want, they can do it. On the own public interest, that also they are having the option. Special resolution also, it is an intimation only, it is not a compulsion. So, here the central government has the option. But when tribunal is passing an order, National Company Law Tribunal is passing an order that central government should do the investigation, then mandatorily central government has to do the investigation. So, they will appoint the inspector. Inspector will be appointed by the central government. Here, the applicant, whoever makes the application to conduct the investigation, like a special resolution or some other person who's giving the application, investigation, they have to give the security deposit. What is the security deposit? For the cost of the investigation. When you're conducting the investigation, you have to travel a lot, you have to search for evidence, you have to give the salary to the inspector, and the inspector will have a team, the evidence gatherers, everyone, they have to give the salary, they have to maintain the office for doing this particular assignment. Like that, there will be cost for the investigation. That cost they have to recover it, right? So the applicant has to submit the security deposit amount. So this will be based on the turnover of the company. For this we are having one table that alone we can see in the study material. Then, if the investigation results in prosecution, after doing the investigation, they found some wrongdoing and they are going to launch a case. They are going to file a case and then try to give the punishment to the wrong people. So, if it results in prosecution, they are successfully filing a case after the investigation. They found some wrongdoing. Then, the deposit amount will be refunded fully to the applicant because the applicant gave the correct information that something is going wrong and a case is also going to be launched. Therefore, the deposit amount will be refunded. So that's all about section number 210. This tabular column for the security deposit, that alone we can see now. So here in section 210, when you see, this is the particular tabular column. When the company's turnover, as per the previous year balance sheet, if it is up to 50 crore, 10,000 rupees is the amount of security. It is a very small amount only when comparing with the turnover of the company. Then more than 50 crore, up to 200 crore, 15,000. More than 200 crore, 25,000 is the security deposit. So that they have given. The next thing when you see section 211, establishment of the SFIO. So this also we can see it from the chart. So here when you see, we are going to establish the SFIO. Central government will establish the Serious Fraud Investigation Office. Central government will assign the cases to the SFIO. They will do the inspection. They can arrest the people, they can seize the evidence, they can do a lot of things. That also we are going to see in the subsequent sections. SFIO, it will be established by the central government. It will be headed by a director. The head will be a director. The director will be appointed by a CG. And then the director, the minimum rank will be joint secretary. Director cannot be below the rank of joint secretary. They will be at the same level. The director must have experience in the matters of corporate affairs. They should be aware about the companies. They should know about the procedures in the companies. In SFIO, in this particular agency, who will be there? What is the composition? There will be a director and then there will be experts. The experts will be appointed by the central government. Who will be the experts? Persons having ability, integrity and standing in this field. What are all the field? Company, corporate affairs, banking, taxation, capital market, forensic audit, like this. In this field, whoever having the experience, ability, integrity, standing, those people will be called as experts. They will be appointed into the SFIO by the central government. So entire thing of the SFIO will be handled by the central government only. They will hand over the case, they will give the powers, and they will appoint the experts, they will appoint the director. Everything will be done by the central government. Now, the next section we are having section number 212, where actually how the SFIO will conduct the investigation, what the powers they are having, everything will be given in section number 212. So that also we are having the chart. We are going to see it from the chart only. So first I told you that central government will assign the investigation to SFIO. When they will assign? Central government has to do the investigation. Why they have to do the investigation? Based on a report of ROC or inspector, which is section number 208 report. In that report they are saying that investigation should be done. Then that investigation can be assigned to SFIO by the central government. Then some central government or state government department, they are giving the, what we can say, request. Then also they can carry out an investigation using SFIO on its own public interest, special resolution. In these cases, the investigation can be given to the Serious Fraud Investigation Office. Then exclusive jurisdiction. Whenever a case goes to SFIO, either if it is a new case, if it is a new case, or from some other agency, like earlier ED was handling it or income tax was handling it, like that some other investigative agency was doing the investigation. Now when it goes to SFIO, all the previous proceedings, it will be dropped. These people will not continue the case. Now it will be entirely handled by the SFIO only. Whatever the information they are having, whatever the evidence they have collected till now, everything they have to submit it to the SFIO. So all the proceedings will be dropped and then SFIO will be the only agency that is doing the investigation for this particular matter, and all the evidence from the previous agency will be forwarded to the SFIO. So that also given here. Then conduct and report. The investigation will be conducted by the SFIO. The SFIO will appoint the investigating officer. Investigating officer appointed by SFIO. And the report. What is the final report? That they will send it to the central government within the specified period. When giving the assignment itself, the central government can give the timeline. Take some 8 months and then find the proper evidence and then you have to submit the report, like that. The timeline will be specified by the central government. and interim report, that is the final report, but in between what is the status of the investigation till now, what they have found out, what is the, what we can say, completion, that will be given as an interim report. Like what is the status till now, that will be given as an interim report by the SFIO to the central government. If the central government demands an interim report, then the investigating officer, what will be the powers of the investigating officer, it will be given in section number 217, powers of the investigating officer. Then in section 212 also we are having some other points also. Arrest by the SFIO, and then bail, whatever the offense for which they are arresting you, whether it is bailable, whether you can go out on bail. Then other points also we are having, so that also we can see. First, arrest, when you see, SFIO can arrest any person, but the person from SFIO, like the officer in the SFIO who should be doing the arrest, there should be a minimum rank for the officer, not a normal clerk in the SFIO. They can go and do the arrest. That is not there. A minimum rank officer only, they have to go and do the arrest. What is the minimum rank? The rank of assistant director SFIO. Assistant director is the minimum rank. All the person in this rank, minimum this rank should be there for the arresting officer. Before doing the arrest, they have to get the permission from the central government by a central government order. They can arrest the person, and after arresting the person, they have to present the person to the special court or judicial magistrate or metropolitan magistrate. They have to present that person before a court. It can be either a special court or judicial magistrate or metropolitan magistrate. Within how much time they have to present the person? 24 hours. Then in that 24 hours, the travel time will be excluded. Which travel time? From the place of arrest till the court. The timing for travel between these two places, that will be what we can say, excluded. It will not be counted in the 24 hours. Then why they will arrest? They will arrest when they are having some reasonable ground to believe that the person is guilty under section 447. The person whom they are going to arrest, he is having some kind of a material in possession, like money or funds or assets or documents, something he is having in his custody that he obtained by doing fraud. He did some fraud, because of that he got some material, that material now he is having, because of that we are doing the arrest. They can do the arrest, but when they are doing the arrest, they have to inform the person about the grounds of the arrest, why they are arresting, that they have to tell it to the accused. Accused means nothing but the person on whom we are telling the allegation. We are telling that this person is doing wrong, then that person will be called as the accused. Then immediately after arrest, what they have to do? They got the order copy from the central government, right? That they have to take, and then the material that was there with the accused, that they would have taken into their custody. Now this order along with this material, they have to forward it with these two things in a cover to SFIO. It should be in a sealed cover. The next thing when you see, which is about the bail. When you are getting arrested, what is the offense? Whether it is bailable or not, whether you can go out on bail or not. Generally, when they are arresting, you will be in jail. But we are having one concept called bail. I think you all know about it. They will be giving you certain conditions. Like you should be there within the city limit only. When you are going out of the city limit, you have to inform the police station, and you have to come to the court. You have to appear to the court whenever they are demanding it. Whenever they summon you, you have to go to the court and enforce your attendance. You have to give your attendance. Then, when the police wants to investigate you, you have to be available. Everything should be given as a condition. All the conditions will be attached to the bail, and they will leave you on bail. You can be outside. You can be outside the jail, but you have to follow all these conditions. That is the meaning of bail. And one more concept is there, which is the concept of cognizable offense and non-cognizable offense. So, what is a cognizable offense and a non-cognizable offense? This we will see in detail in the chapter of NCLT, NCLAT, special codes. In that chapter, we are having this particular discussion. But now I will just say you in a what we can say short manner. Cognizable offense means an offense where the police can arrest you without any arrest warrant. Without any warrant, they can do the arrest. In a non-cognizable offense, they cannot do the arrest without the arrest warrant. Mandatorily, they want the arrest warrant. After that only they can arrest any person. That is the meaning of a non-cognizable offense. So here, all the offense under section 447 fraud. So under section 447, we are having the punishment for fraud, trying to deceive someone, trying to provide false information, all the things which are nearby the nature of fraud, which are similar to the nature of fraud, that kind of offense, it will come under section 447. All the offense under this section, it will be cognizable and non-bailable, meaning that the police can arrest you without even getting an arrest warrant, and you will not be released on bail. Bail will not be granted. This is the nature of the offense under section 447. Generally, it is non-bailable, but if you follow one process, you can get the bail. What is the process? First process. A public prosecutor is given an opportunity to oppose the bail. A public prosecutor will be arguing that you should not get the bail and you should argue that I want the bail. Like that you should argue, and then the court should be satisfied that you are not guilty, and then when you are on bail you will not do any other offense. You are not guilty, and then you will not be committing any other offense when you are on bail. Like that the court should be satisfied. The court should have reasonable ground to believe these things. Then they will release you on bail. The public prosecutor, they will present the argument. After that, if the court decides that you are not guilty and you will not do any more offense, then they will release you on bail. Or second case, if you are the accused, the person is under the age of 16, or the person is a woman, or if the person is sick or infirm, he is not in a proper position, he is not in a healthy manner, he is sick, then the special court also says that you have to release him on bail. Then you can go on bail. Bail will be granted. 16 underage, below 16, a woman or sick or infirm, and the special court also tells you to release on bail. Then also you will be granted the bail. The bail conditions here we are having, right, it is in addition to any other law in force. In any other law, if some other conditions are there for bail, all the conditions you have to fulfill. Under that law, under the Companies Act, all the conditions you have to fulfill. So this is the bail provision under the SFIO. Then what are all the other points you are having? All the company officers, employees, everyone, both present and past employees, everyone should do their best efforts to provide all the information and all the assistance to the investigating officer. Then central government, the report will be filed, right? The final report, interim report, everything to the central government by the SFIO. Central government, after examination of the report, they can direct the SFIO to initiate the prosecution against company or persons connected to the company. The central government will give a sanction, they will give an order to the SFIO. What order? To start a prosecution, to file the case on the company and then the persons in charge or persons connected to the company. They will start the case on them and they will try to get the punishment for the accused, and then they will try to recover the amount, whatever the undue advantage or some other wrong amount that they got, everything they will try to recover, and they will obtain that money. So after the report, this will happen. They will launch the case. Then report will be sent by the SFIO to the central government. Interim report also may be sent. Final report will be sent after the conclusion of the investigation. Then investigation report, that report you are filing, right, that any person can obtain, but you have to make an application to the court. That report will be filed with the central government and it will be there with the court also. You can make an application to the court, then you can get the investigation report. Then here, after completing of investigation, we found out that fraud has taken place. Fraud has happened. That we are sure. We are having the evidence. Who has done the fraud? Director, KMP, officer, any other person has done the fraud, and they have got some undue advantage. They have got some unfair advantage or some fraudulent amount they are having. Then what will happen? The central government will file an application to the tribunal. The central government will file an application to the tribunal. Why? To disgorge the asset property cash. To what we can say? To take the amount property cash away from the persons who did the fraud, to recover the asset property cash, and that person will be held liable personally, like it will be unlimited liability. The director, they have to sell their personal assets and then give this money to the government. When they are recovering the money, they will also take into account all the personal assets also. If the amount they are not able to give all the personal assets, everything will be cleanly taken out from the director for recovery of this asset property and cash. Then, this is the last point, information sharing. SFIO, when they are conducting the investigation, they are getting some information. It is not useful for SFIO, but it is useful for income tax. Then, they have to share such information to the income tax department. Then, when income tax raid is happening, they are getting some information, but it is not useful for income tax, but it may be useful for SFIO. Then, the income tax department has to forward the information to SFIO. They have to share the information. So that is the information sharing. SFIO, if it is useful for the other agency, they have to share the information. Other agency also, if they get any information which will be useful for serious fraud investigation office, then they will forward such information to the SFIO office. So this is the entire provision of SFIO. We have completed the entire section of SFIO. Now, the next section is section number 213. Here, the investigation will be conducted by the tribunal, and for this also we are having the chart. We can see from the flow chart. Now, from here, if you see, investigation will be done by the tribunal. When they will do the investigation, that is the first question. Grounds are when they are getting a doubt that business is conducted with an intent to defraud the creditors, members, or any other person. They are trying to do a fraudulent activity. They are trying to cause any loss. They are trying to do the fraud to the creditors, members, or any other person. If they succeed, then the loss will be there for the creditor, member, any other person. Then they are conducting the business in a manner oppressive to the member. They are not giving proper rights to the member. They are not giving proper disclosure to the member. They are getting the member money. The shareholder has invested the money, but they are not giving the proper rights to them. Oppression is happening. Or the business is conducted for a fraudulent or unlawful purpose. For fraudulent purpose or unlawful purpose, they are doing the business. Then they can order the investigation. Tribunal can order the investigation. The second ground, company was formed for fraudulent or unlawful purpose. The formation of the company, you incorporated the company, right? The purpose itself of incorporation, at the time of incorporation itself, the purpose is fraudulent or unlawful. Then persons involved in the formation or management of the company. When you are forming the company, or the persons in charge in the management of the company, the board of directors, those people, they are guilty of fraud, misfeasance, or other misconduct. They are already guilty of fraud in their handling, if in their control, if there is a company, whether it will be a proper company, they will try to do the fraud in the new company also. So that is one more ground. Members not given all the information to the shareholder itself. You are not telling everything about the company. You are hiding something about the company's events, company's affairs. You are hiding many things from the shareholders, including commission to the KMP, to the key managerial personnel, that is MD, WTD, manager, CEO, CFO, company secretary. To those people, what is the commission you are giving, what is the salary you are giving, all the things you are not properly disclosing to the shareholders or the members. Then in that case also, investigation can be ordered by the tribunal. Something suspicious is going on in the company. So for that, they will launch the investigation. So that is the investigation by tribunal. Then in the investigation, what they will do? Tribunal will pass an order for doing the investigation. They will do the investigation and then they will pass the order after providing a reasonable opportunity of being heard. When passing the order for investigation, before that order itself, they have to give the proper opportunity to the parties. Whoever the parties, the director, manager, company, you have to give proper opportunity of being heard. They should be given an opportunity, a chance to present their side of the argument. Then central government will appoint the inspector. Investigation order will be passed by the tribunal, and then the central government will appoint the actual inspector. The central government should conduct the investigation if the tribunal orders it. So we saw that from the tribunal, if the central government gets any order to conduct the investigation, central government must do it. The central government must mandatorily do it. So that is here only. Tribunal will give an application to the central government, will give an order to the central government to conduct the investigation. They have to mandatorily do it. Then here, when the tribunal is doing the investigation order, tribunal is passing the investigation order. On one more ground also they can pass. What is the ground? Application by the members. So the members, shareholders, they are giving the application. What they are giving the application? If it is a company having share capital, minimum this much members are coming together and giving an application. Company not having share capital, minimum this much members we have to gather and make an application. Along with the application, we have to give the supporting evidence. We have to give the preliminary evidence that if you do the investigation, you will get more evidence and you will find more fraud. Like that, you have to give the minimum supporting evidence. Only then the tribunal will pass an order to do the investigation. Here, when you see, the tribunal itself got the information that this is happening, or else some other person gave the information, some other person gave the application. But here, especially the members, shareholders, they themselves, they are giving the application. Company having share capital minimum 100 members, or member holding 1/10 of the total voting power. 100 member or member holding 1/10 of the total voting power. Minimum this much members should be there. Only if this much members give the application, then only the application will be valid and tribunal will pass the order. Company not having share capital, 1/5 of the persons on the register of members. Register of members, how many people are there? Out of that, 1/5 of the people should come and give the application. Only then the tribunal will start the investigation. They will pass the order for investigation. Punishment. If the investigation proves the allegations to be true, after doing the investigation, we got to know that all the allegations that are true, all the accusations that are true, then all the officers in default and persons involved in the formation and management of the company, who created the company, who are currently managing the company, they will be punishable for fraud under section 447. So this is the section number 213, investigation by the tribunal. We have completed section number 213. Now the next section is section number 214, where security for payment of cost and expense of the investigation. When central government or the tribunal, they are ordering an investigation, they are launching an investigation, definitely there will be cost for doing the investigation. Whoever the person who did the application, like the shareholder or member or any other person who filed the application, they have to give the security. In the same manner, we saw the table, right? In the same manner, here also they have to give the security, not exceeding 25,000 rupees. Up to 25,000 rupees, it can be demanded. The central government will ask you to pay the amount. How much amount you have to pay? That will be decided by the central government. But the maximum amount that can be up to 25,000 only. You cannot get more than 25,000 from the applicant. If you take this as a money extracting practice, like central government asks the people to deposit 10 lakh, 20 lakh, then no one will give the application. So maximum 25,000 only you can get from the applicant. Only then many people will come forward to tell this kind of allegations on the company. Only then we can find out the frauds. If you keep the minimum amount itself like 10 lakh or 20 lakh, normal people will not be able to point out the wrongdoings done by companies. Then, if the investigation results in prosecution, after doing investigation, you got some evidence and you're going to launch the case, then the security amount will be fully refunded to the applicant. In the next section, section number 215, you cannot appoint a body corporate or a company or a firm or any other association as an inspector. Only individuals can be the inspector appointed by the central government or any other agency. Then, investigation of ownership of the company. Now, this is one more section which I told you that it is important. Here, when you are seeing a company, you have to see the background of the company, not just the apparent shareholders. Shareholders you can see apparently. When you see itself, you will be able to find out who are the shareholders, but you should be able to find out the beneficial owners, really who are controlling the company from the shadows, from the outside, who is not apparently visible, who is invisible, or someone hiding behind the curtains and they are operating the company. Like that, you have to find out who's the actual owner of the company, beneficial owner of the company. For that, under this section, we can do the investigation. Central government thinks that it is important to find out the background of this company. Then they will appoint the inspector to find out the true persons who are financially interested in the company, true owners who will be affected when there is any problem in the company, or when there is any profit in the company, who will be the beneficiary, or who are controlling the company, who can materially influence the policy of the company, whether they are currently controlling or in the past they controlled. Those people we have to find out who they are. So we have to launch the investigation for that. Who have or had a beneficial interest in the share. Currently, they are having the beneficial interest, or in the past, they had some beneficial interest. So, that persons also we have to find them out. Who are the beneficial owners? That we have to find out. For that, we are doing the investigation. Central government will appoint the inspector. And if the tribunal makes an order, we have to do the investigation. In that case, also, the central government will appoint the inspector. Central government, they can do the direct appointment of the inspector. Or, based on the order of the tribunal, then the central government will appoint the inspector. Then, to define the scope of the investigation, the inspector they are appointing, right? The inspector, what he should investigate, the scope. Like this company you have to investigate, this manager you have to investigate, this relatives of the manager have to investigate, like that. The scope of the investigation will be defined by the appointer. Who's appointing? The central government will define the scope. Power of the inspector. What are all the powers of the inspector? What are all the arrangement or understanding? Even if it is informal, in that case also, it can be what we can say, it can be under the control of the inspector and they can do the investigation on that. Like this point alone, I will explain in a bit more detail. So here if you see, on the apparent face of the company, you can find the shareholders. But when they are controlling from behind, they will not have a formal agreement and all. When they are controlling from the shadows, they will not have any written agreement. A written agreement or a formal contract, it will not be there. But still the control will be there. So in that case, there is an arrangement or an understanding which is not written. There is no legal binding, but still that understanding it will be followed in the practical life, and those people they will be controlling the company from the shadows by this particular understanding, which is informal, not written, not legally binding. But still such an understanding is there. For such understanding also, this such understanding also can be examined or it can be inquired or the scope of investigation will cover that also. These kind of understanding also will be investigated by the investigating officer or the inspector. Then sometimes when you're finding out the true owner, there is a possibility that they can sell their shares and then they can escape. So in this case, what they will do is that they will impose a restriction on the share for the next 3 years. You cannot do any transaction in this particular share. You cannot sell the share. You cannot pledge the share. You cannot transfer the share. Like that, restriction will be imposed on the securities. It will be imposed by the tribunal. Up to 3 years, they can impose the restriction. If you violate this restriction, even during the 3-year lock-in period, you transfer the share. Then you will be punished. You will be punished by fine and imprisonment. The investigation for true owner. This section it will also apply to a foreign company. So that's what they have given here. The next section is section number 217, which will tell you the powers of the inspector. This is also one more important section. Now this section, when you see here what they have given, the simple things only, we also saw this in the SFIO. In that topic we saw this kind of powers, and in various sections also we are seeing this kind of powers. For all the officers and other employees of the company, all the agents of the company, former officers, past employees, everyone, their duty is to preserve and produce the books and papers, whatever the document that the company wants, that the investigating agency wants, that the investigating officer wants, that they have to properly produce it and provide all the assistance. Whatever the assistance the investigating officer wants, the officers, the employees have to provide that assistance. Then the inspector may require any body corporate to furnish the information before him. So other than a body corporate referred in point 1. So here when you see under point 1 they have mentioned the main company, and when you see point 2, other than the main company some other company is there. That company also the investigating officer can give an order to that particular second company to produce some information. Then the second company should also produce the information they have given. The body corporate other than the body corporate referred in point 1, that body corporate also, if the investigating officer demands some document, the second company also should produce the document. Then the document will be given to the investigating officer. After that he will keep it in his custody for a period of 180 days. Maximum 180 days only they can keep it under their custody. After that they have to return it to the company. After returning, again if they want, again they can get for another 180 days. But when they are asking again, they have to give an order in writing, which we saw already in the SFIO. Similar particular requirement only. Then examination on oath. I already told that they will get you a promise that whatever you are telling that will be truth. After that only they will ask the evidence and ask the questions to you. Like that they will hear the investigating officer. They can get the promise. After that they will get the evidence from you. And here also we are having two categories. The persons mentioned in point 1, the agents, employees, officers of the body corporate, including former officers, current employees and then the past employees. From them they can do the examination on oath, there is no problem. But if you want to examine on promise any other person, then you have to get the prior approval of the central government. So examination on oath, when you are doing it for the employees, it includes the agents, officers, everyone, present and past. There is no problem, you can do it. But when you're doing it for any other person, then you have to get the central government approval before doing it. Because suddenly you cannot go to any person and you can get the promise and you will try to investigate them. That is not possible. There should be some approval. Otherwise, even persons unrelated, they will start to question the persons by getting the promise, and they will start the investigation even on unrelated persons who are not even relevant for the matter. Then if the investigating officer wants, they can demand some persons to appear personally also. They can ask them to appear before him personally and provide the explanation. Then here, any other person, they have to get the approval of the central government, I told you, right? Here, any other person, central government approval. Here the same procedure is there, but it is for the SFIO. Under section 212. Wait a minute. Under section 212, we had the same point, right? But here, other person, they have to get the director of SFIO approval. When it is a normal inspector under any other section, they have to get the approval of the central government. But if it is a investigation conducted under section 212 by SFIO, then they have to get the approval of SFIO director. Here when you see prior approval of director SFIO shall be sufficient. Then power similar to a civil court, the same thing, discovery and production of the books, summoning and enforcing the attendance, examining them on promise, inspection of books, everything is there with the investigating officer in this section also. Punishment, if you disobey the direction, the director or officer, imprisonment up to 1 year, fine 25,000 to 1 lakh rupees, same thing. Then, if you disobey, you will be deemed to have vacated your office and you are disqualified from holding office in any company. The notes of examination, they are asking you the questions, you are answering right. They will be making the notes. What is the question, what is the answer, like that they will be preparing the notes. And this notes, they will ask your signature here. You have to mandatorily give the signature. Otherwise, for that also, they will give you the fine. So, mandatorily, you have to give the signature here. And this notes, they will use it as an evidence against you. Evidence against the person who gave the what we can say, notes. Person who gave the information against them itself, they will use it as an evidence. The next point, when you see, if you are not signing the notes, or you are not providing the evidence properly, you are not providing the documents properly, then in these cases, you are not producing the books properly, you are not furnishing the information properly, you are not appearing personally. They demanded you to appear personally, but you did not attend the meeting, you did not sign the notes of examination, then you will get an imprisonment up to 6 months, fine, minimum 25,000 rupees, maximum 1 lakh rupees, and continuing failure. This is one time. This is the one time fine. But if you are continuing it, you are not doing it, if the days are passing by, then every day 2,000 rupees fine. For every day, every continuing day of failure, 2,000 rupees is the fine. And to the inspector, the central government officers, police, statutory authority, all the people, they have to provide the assistance with the prior approval of the central government. If you want to get the assistance of police or statutory authority, first you have to go to central government as an investigating officer, go to central government, get the approval, then you will get the assistance of the statutory authority officer, everyone. Then provision for reciprocal agreement. So here, when you are having some evidence which is outside India, then you can make an agreement like the central government, our country central government, and then the foreign state government, government of foreign country. Between these two government, an agreement will be done. Like whatever the case, whatever the matter that is investigated in India, for that, if any evidence is outside India, then the foreign country government will help us to obtain the evidence. And any case which is happening in foreign country, for that the evidence is in India, then our country officers will help the foreign government to get the evidence. If the evidence is outside India, the foreign government will help. If the evidence is in India, our government will help to the foreign government. Like that, reciprocal arrangement will be made between the government. That is one point. Then here, for example, you are an investigating officer. You know that an evidence is outside India. Then you have to go to a court. You have to give a what we can say application that we want to obtain the evidence which is there outside India. The court will send the letter of request to the outside India, so that foreign country government, some authority in the foreign country government, they will get the request, and the foreign country government, they will appoint one inspector. That inspector will collect the evidence that is there in the foreign country. Then this evidence will be sent to the investigating officer in India. This evidence will be properly considered as a normal evidence. It will have the rank of an evidence which is directly collected by the investigating officer, and it is admissible in any court. This evidence not only involves the documents, they can also get any person. They can ask the question, then they will record the statement, and that statement will also be considered as an evidence collected. All the evidence collected will be forwarded to the investigating officer in India. In the same manner, from the foreign state also you can get a letter of request, and the Indian officer should collect the evidence and send it to the foreign government. The same thing they have given here, that you can read it by yourself. Now the next section is section number 218, which is about the protection of employees. I already told you that when an investigation is going on, the duty of all the employees is to provide the information to the investigating officer. But if an employee provides some information, the top management, the board of directors, they can try to fire the employee, they can try to reduce the salary of the employee, they can try to reduce the rank of the employee, they can try to punish the employee. For that we are having the protection section. For this we are having a chart. From that chart we can see it. Now, this is the chart. Here when you see, this section overrides any other law in the force. Whatever the law that is there, that you should not consider. First, see the requirement of this section. After doing that, second priority only you have to give it to any other law. If any other law has some opposite requirement, then you have to take into account this particular section only. Ignore the other law. In short, if you want to say, ignore all other law, just to follow this section. Then, during investigation, company, body corporate or person concerned, when an investigation is going on, you want to take any action on any employee. Who want to take an action? Company, body corporate or person concerned. They have to take the approval of the tribunal. After that only they can take any action on the employee. What is the action? What is the meaning of action? Discharging any employee, suspending any employee, dismissing, reduction of rank, change in terms of employment to the employee's disadvantage, like not giving the bonus, not giving the salary, reducing the compensation, like that. All the things will come under the action taken against the employee. The company has to file an application to the tribunal and get the permission. The tribunal has 30 days. Within 30 days, if the objection is raised by the tribunal, a tribunal says that no, you cannot take action against that employee, then the company, they can file the appeal to the NCLAT. Tribunal means nothing but the NCLT. You have to go to appeal to the NCLAT if the tribunal gives any objection. If the tribunal does not give any objection, tribunal is silent, then it will be considered as deemed approval. Company can proceed with the action, they can even fire the employee. So they have to give the application. That's all. If the tribunal is silent, then no problem. You can proceed with the action. Then, when you are going to NCLAT, you are getting the objection from the tribunal from the NCLT. You are going to the NCLAT. What is the time limit you are having? 30 days for going to the appeal. The decision of the NCLAT, it will be the final and binding. You cannot again go to Supreme Court against this decision and all. So that's all about section number 218, protection of employees. Now we have completed most of the important sections of this particular chapter. We are having only some remaining sections. We can see that quickly. First one is the section number 219, which is about investigation into the affairs of the related companies. We are having the main company. So the main company will be there. This main company, it may have some holding company. Or this main company, it may have some subsidiary company. Or this main company, it may have some associate company. Or this holding company we are having, right? This holding company itself, it might have another subsidiary. So this we will call it as a sister concern. Like that, under these, if you are launching the investigation on the main company only, but you are having some information which is there with the holding company, associate company, subsidiary company, sister concern, you have to do the investigation for this also. In what case you can do that? You are appointed for the main company only. When you can launch the investigation on this also, when you can include these other companies also inside the investigation. That is the section. So if the investigating officer thinks that it is necessary for the investigation, they can also investigate into the affairs of the subsidiary company, holding company, or the sister concern, or any other body corporate managed by the same managing director or manager. So, any other body corporate we are having, that body corporate is managed by the main company manager or MD. Either it is currently being managed or in the past the main company MD manager was the MD manager for the body corporate also. Then any person who has been the company's managing director or manager or employee at any relevant time. So some other person, he was a past MD, he was a past manager, he was a past employee, then you can inquire that person also. Any other body corporate whose board comprises of nominees of the company and accustomed to act in accordance with the direction of the company. So our main company will give the instruction. According to that, some other body corporate will work, will do the action. Then this body corporate also you can inquire. Then the inspector, subject to the prior approval of the central government, they can investigate and report on the affairs of the other body corporate or other managing director or manager, and the result should be relevant to the investigation. So they have to get the prior approval of the central government. After that, they can investigate the other body corporate, managing director, etc. also. After that, they have to include the results in the report. Then seizure of documents by the inspector. When they can seize the documents, we already saw that when there's a chance to believe that the documents might be falsified, secreted, destroyed, mutilated, altered in the same manner, if the documents can be damaged, then the persons can get the order and they can enter the place, they can seize the books and they can take it into their custody. The time period is that up till the conclusion of the investigation. Till the investigation gets over, the investigating officer, they can keep the books under their custody. After that, they have to release it. Then, before returning, the authorities, that is the investigating officer, the inspector, they can take the copies. Before returning, they can take the copies. The inspector can take the copies. That is also one more point they have given. Then, for this search and seizure, the Code of Criminal Procedure will be applicable. That's all. The next thing, powers of the tribunal. The tribunal has various powers also, like freezing of assets of the company. The central government can make an application to the tribunal for freezing of the assets. The central government thinks that they will transfer the asset. Then the central government will make an application. Then NCLT will pass an order to freeze the assets of the company. They cannot transfer it, they cannot utilize it. Like that, they will make a freezing order. For how much time period? For a period not exceeding 3 years. They will give the condition, restriction, everything they will give. For maximum 3 years, they can pass the freezing of assets order. When the tribunal will pass such a order, central government making an application, then they will pass the order. Complaint made by the shareholders or members, then they will pass the order. Creditor having 1 lakh amount outstanding, a creditor who gave a loan to the company. How much loan? 1 lakh rupees loan. Then that creditor makes an application, or any other person having reasonable ground that the assets of the company might be misappropriated. They will transfer the assets of the company. Then in that case, any other person also can make an application. Then NCLT will pass an order for the freezing of the assets for maximum 3 years. If you violate the order, even in the lock-in period, you transfer the assets, then this punishment will be applicable. Just a normal punishment, you can read it by yourself. Fine and imprisonment. Then imposition of restriction upon the securities. We already saw that when we are doing the investigation into the ownership of the company under section 216. There may be restrictions imposed by the tribunal that you should not issue the security, you should not transfer the security, you should not pledge the security like that. In the same manner, some other section also we are having section number 222, section 222. So here, tribunal, in the opinion of the tribunal thinks that about the securities issued, about the company, we have to find out the relevant facts. And the transfer of securities might be a problem for that. They will impose the restriction on the transfer of securities. Here also maximum 3 years. So this 3 years you can note it somewhere. Freezing of assets, you can write maximum 3 years. And here also, imposition of restriction on the transfer of securities, maximum 3 years can be done. Then here also, even during the lock-in period, where you should not transfer the securities, in that time period, you violated the order of the tribunal and you transfer the securities. Then what will happen? You will get the fine and imprisonment. The next section is section 223. Here, inspector's report. The inspector will prepare a final report that will be given to the central government. If the central government wants, interim reports also might be submitted. It should be in writing. The copy of the report. After submitting the report, any person concerned who wants to get the copy of the investigation report, then they can make an application to the central government. After that, the report, when they are submitting, there will be some signature or seal, right? The seal of the company should be there, and then, or instead of that, you can also keep a certificate of a public officer under this section of the Indian Evidence Act. You have to certify the report. Then exception. It will not apply to any report under section 212. For section 212, investigation by SFAO, we are having separate instruction for the final report, interim report, everything. So for that section, this instruction will not apply. Other than 212, wherever the report for investigation is there, everywhere this particular section 223 will be applicable. The next section, after getting the report, what will be the action taken? Central government thinks that some person is guilty. Then central government will prosecute such person. They will file the case against such person and try to get the punishment for the guilty. Then it will be the duty of all the officers to provide the necessary assistance. All the company employees, officers, everyone will give proper assistance so that we can prosecute, we can do the case. Then if the central government thinks that it will be proper to wind up the company, then the central government will present an application for winding up, or an application under section 241. What is section 241? Prevention of oppression and mismanagement. Under that section, an application will be filed by the central government, or both. The central government will file this if in the opinion of the central government, if the company is liable to be wound up. Then the next point, when you see initiation of winding up proceedings suo motu by the central government. So here if you see, there is an investigation report. After the report, the central government came to know that company suffered various losses. Losses has been occurred to the company. Company incurred the losses. At this case, in this particular situation, a normal company, what they will do? They will file a case. They will file a prosecution, or they will file a winding up proceeding against the particular officers or some other person. They will file the prosecution. But here currently, the persons in charge, persons who are controlling the management, they are the director, and those people are the ones doing the wrong. Now here what you will do, the directors are the one controlling the company, so definitely the company will not launch the case. So what they will do, central government will launch the case in the place of the company. Normally in this situation, company only should file the case, but here company is in the control of the wrongdoers. So central government will take the place of company and they will file the prosecution. So proceedings ought to be brought by the company. In this situation, normally the company should bring the proceedings. The company must bring the proceedings. They should start the case. But since the company is in the control of the wrongdoers, the central government itself will start the prosecution. They will bring the proceedings for the winding up, and they will try to get the recovery of the damages for the fraud, misfeasance, other misconduct done by the director or other person. They will do the recovery of damages and recovery of any property. And since the central government is starting the prosecution, starting the case in the place of the company, the central government will be indemnified by the company for all the costs. For conducting these proceedings, whatever the cost that is incurred by the government, the company should pay to the government. Then, where fraud has been committed, where we know that fraud has been done and then some director officer has taken some undue advantage. They have got some unfair profit. Then that profit, asset, property, cash will be recovered from them. That is called as the disgorgement. So this is the thing, actions taken after the report. So central government can give the winding up petition, or here the central government can give the petition for winding up, or they can get for damages or for recovery of property. The cost will be reimbursed by the company to the central government. After that, if there is any fraud committed, then the asset, property, cash which is there with the director or officer who did the fraud, that will be disgorged, that will be recovered. So that's all about the section number 224. Now the next section, when you see section 225, expense of the investigation. When you are doing the investigation, the cost of investigation, who will pay that? That is the thing. Central government is ordering the investigation, or tribunal is ordering the investigation, or some other person is ordering the investigation, but the cost for the investigation, who will pay that? That is the question. Here, the expenses for the inspector appointed by the central government will be first paid by the central government. First, when the bills are presented, first the central government will pay. After that, it will get the reimbursement. Who will give the reimbursement? Person convicted. Who is the person declared guilty? That person, or whose person ordered to pay the damages? Person who did wrong, they have given an order to pay the damages. This guilty person should pay the damages. And then restore any property. Who is the person responsible to restore any property? For example, some director, he transferred the name of some property which was in the name of company. Now he changed it to his name. Now, the director should restore the property. He should again give the property to the company. He should transfer the property to the name of the company. Then, such a director, these people are the persons responsible to pay the cost of the investigation. Then, the next point, the person who convicted, the person who ordered to pay the damages, the person who should restore the property, these people, how much they should give the cost, how much they should reimburse, how much is the extent, that will be specified by the order by the particular court. The court, in their order, they will tell how much should be reimbursed by the particular persons. Then there is a liability on the company also. For the company only, the central government is starting the investigation, everything and all. So the company, at the end of the investigation and in the case, the company will get some property. Some property which was illegally taken away from the company. Now the property will be given back to the company. For example, the property is rupees 10 lakh rupees. The property value is rupees 10 lakh. Then the cost of the investigation. For example, if it is 50 lakh, the company will be liable to pay the 50 lakh, but it will be up to the value of the property only. For this company only, they are doing the investigation. So this entire 50 lakh should be paid by the company only. But here, when you see the property value, recovered property value itself only 10 lakh. So up to 10 lakh they can pay. Remaining 40 lakh they cannot pay. Company got only this much property. So only this much can be paid by the company for the expense of the investigation. Now here, where a prosecution is instituted. So when you are launching a case under section 224, we saw that after the report, what all the action that can be taken. Like the prosecution will be started against the officers, then winding up order can be passed, winding up application may be filed, or winding up application along with recovery of damages or recovery of property can be filed. So this prosecution can be started under section 224. If such a case is started, then the company, managing director, manager, they have to pay the amount. And the applicant for the investigation, who made the application, then that person, applicant under section 213. Section 213 is nothing but the investigation by the tribunal. Investigation by tribunal where the shareholder or member will give the application, or any other person will give the application. That applicant, they have to pay the cost of the investigation. How much they have to pay? That will be given by the central government. Then the amount for which a company is liable, first charge on the sum of the property. So here if you see this property we are having, right, if you pay the amount there is no problem, 10 lakh. But if you are not paying the amount and you are selling the property, then whatever the amount you get, that amount will be first taken by the central government for this 10 lakh, for this or for this particular investigation cost. That amount you are getting, that will be taken by the central government for their liability. After that, remaining amount only will be given to the company. First charge, when you are selling this property, first it will be given to the proceeds will be shared to the government. After that only remaining will be shared with the company. So that is section number 225, expenses of investigation. Then after start of the investigation, the company voluntarily they go and start an application for winding up. They go for voluntary winding up. This will not affect the proceedings in any way. This will not affect the investigation in any manner. The investigation will go on normally. There will not be any effect of this particular voluntary winding up application on the investigation. The liability of the director, member, everyone, that also will be in the same manner only, even if the application of winding up is filed. Then, when there is a communication with the client and their advocate, you can say advocate or attorney or lawyer or legal advisor, those people, this kind of a communication, it is called as a privileged communication. Whenever you are being arrested, you have the right to talk to a lawyer, that they will say in the movies and all, right? That is called as the privileged communication. You are having the right to talk with them. No one can ask what you are speaking to the lawyer, what you spoke to the lawyer, what did the lawyer tell you, like that. Even police, central government, no one can ask it. So that is the power of the privileged communication. You are having the basic rights. The client, as a client, you are having the basic rights to speak with your advocate. No one can question it. That is the privacy, privileged communication. Such a communication, whatever you are telling in the privileged communication, you are not having any responsibility to tell it to the central government or investigating authority. The advocate also, they can provide only the client address and in the name. Only this much information can be provided by the advocate to the investigating agency. Other than that, no other information will be provided by the advocate side also. Then, banker. When you are going to a bank, only for that particular company on which you are doing the investigation, you can get the bank statement, everything. Other than this company, you are asking other customer. Other customer are there, right, in the bank. For those customer, you are asking the bank statement details and all. That the bank is not liable to give. Only the company on which investigation is being done, only that information will be given by the bank. Then this particular chapter will be applicable to the foreign companies also with the necessary changes. Then if you are giving any false statement, you are destroying the documents, then this penalty will be applicable under section 447. So that also they have given. That's all about this particular chapter. We have completed the entire chapter.